What up, peeps? It's your boy Heck Steve. Welcome back to the channel, and today I want to share some recent pickups that I've gotten for the collection. I know in one of my more recent videos I was downsizing. There's a different approach to collecting now. It's going to be all things that I'm really excited to have in the collection, as opposed to just let's grab this because it's part of this series, blah blah blah. Like how I was collecting all the Maddens and stuff. We're not doing that anymore. So first up, for the Nintendo GameCube, we got WrestleMania 19. So I won that GameCube recently, and got a lot of the GameCube wrestling games, but this was the one that was missing, so I was able to pick that up. This is also my favorite WrestleMania. I have the WrestleMania 19 poster in my TV room, and gotta have it, dude. Gotta have it. So I'm really excited to give this a play. And let's see what else. Okay, now we've got one for the 360. I got this. I like the band. It is a Rock Band game, and it's a Green Day Rock Band, and I do like Green Day a lot. This was complete. This was one of the few that I didn't have. Most of the rhythm games I have on the Xbox 360, because that was always like my preferred system to play Rock Band and Guitar Hero games on. I always felt like the controllers were more responsive than the ones on the PlayStation 3. And believe me, I did a lot of trial and error with that, so I feel pretty confident in saying that it was much better to play these games on 360. But yeah, I'm a fan of Green Day. Now, a game that's dedicated to them, I always felt like this wasn't the right band, because they had the Beatles Rock Band, and then they were like, we're going to do Green Day. I can think of plenty of other bands that would have been more appropriate. Obviously, ones like Led Zeppelin or Pink Floyd, they never were in any Guitar Hero Rock Band games because they didn't want to be. So I would imagine that if they wanted to, they would have been in a Rock Band game. Like, they would have their own dedicated Rock Band game instead of someone like Green Day. Either way, though, Green Day's cool. Now, I'm an expert at playing these types of games, so there's not really a lot of guitar solos in Green Day songs, so this is more for like playing drums, I would say, or if you just really like Green Day. Still cool to have, and it was one that I needed. I think the only game now that I need to get is Rock Band 3, and I'm in no rush to get that because most of those songs are carried over into Rock Band 4 because I've owned Rock Band 3 before and imported them, blah blah blah. Oh, also Guitar Hero Rock the 80s for the PlayStation 2. That'll be another one that I need to pick up. And actually, I got a free PS2 guitar from GameStop a couple weeks ago. So yeah, definitely would like to get my hands on Guitar Hero Rock the 80s. Everything else is Nintendo stuff. And we've got a lot of different goodies here, man. Let's go back to Super Nintendo. We've got, a staple in any Super Nintendo collection. Kind of surprised that I didn't have it already, but that is Super Mario World. Fantastic game. Obviously, one of the best Super Mario games. And, you got to have it. So, I recently picked up a complete in-box copy of All-Stars. So, this will go well with that. Give that a spin soon. Of course, if I was going to play that, I'd probably just play it on the Switch. Just because, it's on the NSO. But I do have the Retron 5 to play that on if I want. Another Super Nintendo game. And that is, this is a gotta have, for a Super Nintendo collection, and that is the beat 'em up Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time. Arguably the best Ninja Turtles game ever made. And had to have it, Turtles 4, is what it says there on the spine. But yeah, awesome game, especially if you have a buddy to play this with. It's also part of the Cowabunga collection, so, obviously you'd probably just be better off playing that, but it's still cool to have the actual cartridge for this because I do like Super Nintendo, and I am nostalgic for Super Nintendo games because this was one of the childhood systems. I think it was for most people. All right, what else we got here? Oh, you know what? We actually got one Switch game, so let's take a look at that real quick. It is, I already had this on the 360, or excuse me, the Xbox Series. I just wanted to get it on the Switch because I thought it would be cool to play it in handheld mode. That's the Tony Hawk's 1 and 2 remasters. This is an awesome game. I don't know how it runs on the Switch. I imagine it's probably okay. But, man, actually, now that I think about it, I own this on Epic on the PC. I own it on the Xbox Series X, and I also own it on the Nintendo Switch. Well, I mean, I love these games, you know, like growing up, and it's so cool that they have the majority, if not all, of the soundtrack. I can't remember if some songs were missing or not, but I mean, this is one of the nostalgic games for me, you know, especially Tony Hawk 1. Played hours and hours and weekends with the boys in the trailer park on Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. And of course, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 is fun too, but I played that mostly on the 64. Okay, now we got some 3DS. We got two 3DS games. First up, we've got Pokemon Ultra Moon. And, you know, I haven't played Ultra Moon. I don't even know if it is... See, because I played Moon. All right, I used to have a 2DS, and when I had that, I played through Moon. I don't know if this is, like, the sequel to Moon, or if it's just, like, a better version of Moon. So I'll have to do some more research on that, but... Okay, actually, it says right here on the back, Pokemon that did not appear in Sun and Moon have been added. Okay. And there's new story elements. Okay, so yeah, it's like a definitive edition of Pokemon Moon. So that'll be cool to check out again. Also, I've noticed with the 3D, man, like they so half-assed it on the 3DS with the Pokemon games. Like it's only in 3D during the battles and some cutscenes. And another thing about it too is like, you know, trying to get the 3D effect to look just right. You have to like be at a certain angle, and if you're like laying on your stomach in bed, it's like almost impossible. So you end up just playing it in 2D. But yeah, it'll be cool to check that out. And you know, speaking of playing Pokemon games on the 3DS, we've got Omega Ruby here. And also, let me go ahead and bring this up. It's in my 3DS right now, that's why it's not in the case. This was the era where they decided that you didn't need a manual. Instead, they gave you these electric manuals, or electronic manuals, blah, blah, blah. Online manuals, whatever you want to call them. Which I think is such a lame cop-out. But yeah, Ruby and Sapphire is one of the generations that I never played. Those, X and Y, and Heart Gold, Soul Silver, those are basically the three that I haven't played through. And I'm in the process of playing through Heart Gold as well, but since I got my hands on Omega Ruby, I wanted to play through that one. Since I haven't played through Ruby and Sapphire, you know, Heart Gold I haven't played, but I've played Gold and Silver, of course, back in the day. So I know how that one's going to unfold. And, you know, for the most part, most of these games are exactly the same. But I'm excited to finally give this a try. Now, I've attempted to play through Ruby and Sapphire before, got stuck really early on, and then just, like, put it down, was doing something else, and then years went by, and I just forgot to go back to it. But definitely going to play through this, and I got to get myself a copy of Sapphire, because I do want to get all of the Pokemon games. Maybe not necessarily complete in box for the Game Boy games, because I do have a lot of them loose. But, you know, if it's something like this, where it's like 40 or 50 bucks to get it complete, then I'll be down with that. All right, we got 4 games left, and they are all on the Nintendo DS. This is a system that I haven't been focusing a lot on with collecting, and so that's why I wanted to grab these 4, especially when they were presented all CIB. And the first one here is actually a game that I own loose that I will probably have to sell or give away or trade or something like that. But that is Chrono Trigger for the Nintendo DS. One of the best RPGs ever made. Of course, it started out on the Super Nintendo. I'm not going to tell you anything new about this game that you probably don't already know. But yeah, it is really sweet to have it complete in box. And I look forward to playing through this at some point because I've never actually beaten this game. I've gotten really far into it. We were playing the PS1 version on the PS3, and the load times were just abysmal, and eventually we just got tired of it. But we did get like 20-something hours into the game. So yeah, be nice to check that and finish that one out. Oh, we got another Pokemon game. So this one is complete, as far as I could tell. And, wait, maybe it isn't. I mean, there's a lot of paperwork in there, but yeah, it's Pokemon White, which I believe back in the day I had Pokemon Black. But, obviously it's basically the same game. It's just like, has Zekrom on here instead of Reshiram. And, yeah, this game's not too bad. I never actually played Black 2 and White 2, so I need to add those to the list as well. But for some reason, those are just really expensive, I guess because they weren't printed as much. But yeah, this is a fantastic game. I'm really excited to have that in the collection. I got a decent price on it. I believe I paid around $100 for it, maybe a little less. And then here's another staple for a Nintendo DS collection, and that is New Super Mario Brothers. What a fun game. I spent more time playing the mini games, the one where you like slingshot people up to like knock down the enemies that are trying to fall on you or something. I can't remember exactly how it was, but I just remember that I played a crap ton of that. But yeah, this is a really fun game. I mean, you know, the levels and stuff are innovative as well. I believe this was the first one where you could jump off the walls, like ricochet off the walls. Don't quote me on that, but yeah. And then the final game, this is a very interesting one, and that is The World Ends With You. This is a really interesting game, and as far as I remember, you had to like hold the DS to the side and play it. It's been a really long time since I played this. Years and years before I started, you know, drinking in my 20s that I last played this, but I always remember that I had a good time with this game, and I look forward to, you know, giving it another spin. But yeah, that's everything that I got. One last thing before we wrap up today. I just wanted to say that ever since I downsized the video game collection, this wall represents more of the games that mean a lot to me, that I grew up with, or, you know, just games that I'm interested in, you know, trying to complete or trying for the first time. So yeah, I don't regret doing the downsize at all. In fact, I look forward to doing it again in the future. Not anytime soon, though. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. Take care, and I will catch you next time.